Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts. Heaven or hell.
Hey, do you like music? Hey, yeah, I think I do like music. Guilty Gear is a fighting game series created by Daisuke Ishiwatari, starting way back in 1998, when fighting games were very early in their development as a genre. At the time of Guilty Gear's inception, Daisuke, who had recently joined Arc System Works, had a vision of a new fighting game that he wanted to create. He was inspired by Street Fighter II at the time, but despite how much he admired it, wanted to make something with more of a flashy world than just the flashy characters of Street Fighter. And so, he created Guilty Gear. As with most video games at the time, Guilty Gear, even in its first iteration, had a soundtrack, which was more than just 8-bit pixel chiptune sounding stuff that most video games were limited to at the time. The genre of choice Daisuke settled on was heavy metal. Every character in the game had a heavy metal tune to accompany them, whether it be to signify the kind of person they were or something you could just headbang to. As time went on and technology advanced, Guilty Gear 2 would advance, expanding their roster of characters and improving on their already existing game mechanics and adding new ones. And just like everything else had evolved at the time, so did Guilty Gear's awesome metal music. Guilty Gear is often hailed for its incredible soundtrack, composed mostly by Daisuke. The music in Guilty Gear is second to none, in my opinion. But maybe that's because I've got my whole life loving heavy rock and roll. Either way, the music in Guilty Gear has undoubtedly changed a lot through its lifetime. The series, prior to the game Xrd Sign, consisted of instrumental metal ballads for you to beat up your opponents to, with no real meaning other than the sound to give you an idea of the kind of character you were playing as or you were playing against. Like Kai Kisk's theme, Holy Orders, Be Just or Be Dead, from the games prior to Sign, before it changed, it was a very royal sounding track because Kai was a knight until he became the king of his whole region, and that's a whole lore thing for another time that we're not going to get into. But it sounded very knightly. But as time went on, when the game reached the Guilty Gear Sign video game and release, they entered a new composer to the game, Naoki Hashimoto. Naoki brought a new element to the Guilty Gear sound, providing his intense metal vocals to the tracks. While most of the battle themes did not contain his vocals, still, most of the promotional tracks or tracks that were for the title or story tracks had his voice on them now. Some of the tracks are Heavy Day, Big Blast Sonic, and Ride the Fire. So, why did I title this video, Why Does the Music of Guilty Gear Move Us? Well, when Naoki was added to the composition team of Guilty Gear Strive, because they had vocals now, they could tell stories through the songs, of the characters, of the world, of whatever. And even though in Xrd Sign, there was only really vocals for, promotional tracks, like I said, other in-game tracks that were just for like one-off things, like Ride the Fire, which is just a theme that plays when you do a specific input in the game. You could still get some stories across in some of the story tracks, mainly one I'll talk about later at the end of this video, Frisia. In Guilty Gear Strive, however, every character has a theme song with vocals on it that tells the story of them in the future, the past, or the present. Mainly the past and present, because the future usually just talks about what they want to do as a character. So that is what we are going to be diving into in this video, because there's a lot of deep meaning in these tracks, and genuinely some of these tracks have spoken to me on an emotional level. I hope you enjoy. Zato 1 is an assassin who, after performing some spooky devil stuff, loses his vision and summons a puppet, shadow monster, named Eddie. Over time, Zato loses control over Eddie and dies. And so does Eddie. He also dies after inhabiting Zato's pretty much corpse for a while longer. They both go together to literal hell and then come back as great friends somehow. I don't know what they did. They must have had like the best time hanging out, grabbing some drinks with each other, but they are very good. They're on great terms now. But because he died, Zato doesn't feel his emotions anymore. Like, he has the memories of, you know, feeling love, hatred, anger, whatever, but now that he's been revived, he doesn't feel that. So prior to this death, Zato 1 had a lover named Milia Rage, another character in this universe who also has a really good song about the story, but we're not going to be talking about that today. He only remembers those memories of love with her and all those times they shared or whatever, and cannot grasp the emotions that he so desperately wants to grasp. So that's where his theme, Let Me Carve Your Way, really focuses on. As you've probably heard in the background now, I am actually playing the song Let Me Carve Your Way, the theme for Zato, as I've mentioned before. So, just so we're all caught up to speed, I'm going to go through the last couple of lines that have been sung while I've been talking, and just go through them really quickly so we can really get to the meat of the song, because there's a lot of good, deeper meanings in the song, but it takes a bit to get to them.
Drowned in pain, I lost my mind, there's no good about in there. Drowned in pain, I lost my mind, there's no good about in there. Vanish into dark, it is hopelessness filled by the light.
All these lines about vanishing into dark, drowning in pain and gain, and hopelessness filled by the light are all pretty much a culmination of Zato and himself in the current present day. He has vanished into dark. When he was revived from the darkness, from hell, there's nothing really that came with him. He has no emotions, he's just an empty husk of his former self, just with Eddie. He has vanished into dark, the dark being the nothingness of his life. Drowned in pain and drowned in gain are him being caught up in his own mind of feeling the pain of not knowing his emotions, but also the gain of not feeling his emotions, because he can make some very unbiased decisions as he does in the actual main story of Strive. However, the hopelessness filled by the light is actually a really neat line, because I thought of it as Milia Rage. He feels hopeless. This is something that is repeated throughout the song, but by using the word light, there's hopelessness filled by the light. The light perhaps ends up as Milia Rage, his current lover, or past lover who he wants to love again.
A piece of desire, a piece of dreams, is here for out on the edge of the world. And then after that, will that dream still go on? I hope that it's not the end of sorrow and joy.
This next segment of the song, Abyss of Desires, Abyss of Dreams, is it farther than the edge of the world? And then after that, will the dreams still go on? I hope that it's not the end of sorrow and joy. Zato refers to himself, in my opinion, as an abyss of desires. He wants stuff, but he just is so empty inside, and he has dreams, but is still so empty inside. He has the dreams of his memories or whatever, but he feels nothing. Is it farther than the edge of the world? Meaning, are those memories that far from me? Is it really that far? Can I not reach them? And then after that, will the dreams still go on? He doesn't want these memories to go away. He wants them to stay, which is why he's chasing them down so hard. I hope that it's not the end of sorrow and joy says that to us. He does not want these memories to leave. He wants to chase them as hard as he can, but he feels so empty inside, and he feels like he can't reach those feelings again.
Dry piles into the footprints behind. Don't forget to respect for pain.
Of all the lines of the vocals and whatever in the Guilty Gear Strive songs, sometimes some lines just don't really make sense or sound off. In this song, this is the one. Drive piles into the footprints behind, / don't forget the respect for pain. I had a hard time deciphering these ones personally, and I'd love to hear from anyone else who stumbled across this video what they thought the lines were. I could sort of see / being like respect the pain you feel because it is a feeling, it is an emotion, but I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to decipher.
Path to liberty, compress the sky. The broken wall will cry for humanity.
Patched up liberty, compress the sky. The broken wall will cry for humanity. Patched up liberty, to me, says that Zato only has a facade of liberty. Whereas he had liberty before in his life as an actual human with emotions or whatever. Now his form of liberty is just there for the sake of saying that Zato is a person, in quotations. The broken wall will cry for humanity is actually the line I'm really interested in this part, because I see it as the wall being Zato and him crying for humanity. The broken wall is Zato 1 in his current state, being a broken, empty husk who has no emotion or can't reach his emotions, and all the while he's crying out, saying, please, please let me have my emotions back, please let me experience what it's like to be a human again, please. But no one responds. Now, I'm going to let you listen to this next part of the song with the full way through, with no interruptions from me, because it is just absolutely gorgeous. So please enjoy.
I once had some sweet memories. Each world remains all the same. How can I remember those moments, sweetheart? Tell me, tell me. If there's a man who can make anything, give me the tools to live in the past. It's all gone down so deep I can't see anymore. If that's not the way to go, let me carve your way. I'm in the shadow, always with you.
I'm going to leave this picture of a cat on your screen being sad, because that's exactly how I felt when I listened to this ending for the first time. It just, every time I listen to it, no matter how many times I have, I just get so emotional. It just feels so raw. Zato claims he once had some sweet memories, those being the ones with Milia, and how their worth remains all the same no matter if he has no feelings or emotions anymore. He asks, how can I remember those memories, sweetheart? Talking to Milia now. And he's asking, tell me, as if begging. If there was a man who could make anything, give me the tools to live in the past. Again, just please, please let me live those memories again. Let me feel. It's all gone down so deep I can't see anymore, if that's not the way to go. All those emotions and those feelings have gone so deep inside of him into the abyss that he can't seem to find them or feel them anymore, if that's not the way to go, because he doesn't want that to be the way they go. He doesn't want that to be the ending of his story or his emotions or his life, practically. Then he says, let me carve your way. I'm a shadow, always with you. Now he speaks directly to Milia, since even if he can't feel or love or do any of these things that he wants to, he will carve her way. He will be the shadow, always with her, and he will protect her till the very end, no matter what happens between them or what happens in the universe of Guilty Gear. Genuinely one of the saddest and most emotional stories I've actually ever experienced in gaming, and I have no words. We'll continue on to the next song now.
Ignite the drive in your soul. It's calling you.
The next track on our road to the ending of this video is the track Extras for Elfelt Valentine. Something interesting to note, Gears, is that by the time I'm making this video and I wrote this script, this is still Guilty Gear's newest character and newest track, which is kind of one of the reasons I wanted to cover it, but the reason stems from actually many things. First of all, she's my favorite character, like I said, except for Happy Chaos. Happy Chaos sits at the top of the list, but I can't get into his song here because it's too confusing for literally anyone to make sense of unless you're actually a Guilty Gear fanatic. Second of all, it's actually kind of important to the whole story as a whole, like throughout all the games, for those non-Guilty Gear players that are watching this for some reason. So I want to explain this whole Valentine family idea so we can get into the last song and actually understand that a bit better. So, to summarize really quick, the Valentines are a group of 3 gears made up of one person who died. The Valentines were pretty much evil and controlled by someone until they, for some reason, just weren't. And then they got taken in by Kai Kisk and his family, his royal family. That's pretty much the gist of it. Elfelt, personally, loves the idea of love and marriage. She wants to get married. She has a marriage contract with her wherever she goes in case she meets that special someone. But she also decided that after the events of Sign, or Excerpt Sign, she wanted to become a death metal vocalist, guitarist. So now she's a death metal singer-songwriter. And this is the track that I think she wrote herself in story to explain her feelings away. We're just going to lightly go over this. Like in Zato's, we're going to just quickly skim through since it's been playing in the background. But I do want to just get through the points without exposing too much of the song. Now, I just showed you the entirety of the first verse and the first chorus, and that's a lot to go over, so I'll try and make it quick, but also cohesive. Pretty much, Elfelt, she says, she's soaring higher. The clouds took her away because she's now a star in this universe, pretty much, because she became a metal singer, everyone loves her, yada yada. I know who I am, I'm just a little lost, or I was just a little lost. Because after the story of Exert and or Exert Sign, whichever one of the two, I always forget, she didn't know what to do because she kind of just holed up with the Kisks in their home and hung around. I don't know where to go, I don't know how to keep up, referring to everyone else in the universe who's already going on along with their things, like her other Valentine, like siblings, quotations. I'm not sure what I want, but don't get me wrong, I know who I am. She knows who she is, she wants to stay true to what she is, like someone who's looking for love, but she doesn't know exactly what she wants. And then, ignite the drive in your soul, to each their own, buckle up. She ignited the drive in her own soul, and this is her telling her, in quotes, fans, or just anyone who's listening to the song, to ignite the drive in their soul, and that to each are their own, and then buckle up, just fun words to use for the chorus, where it goes, like I mentioned in Zato's with the // drive part, this kind of doesn't make sense. Rubba dub dub, yeah, yeah, too late. My baby, oh hallelujah. But it sounds really fun. It's a really fun part of the song. It's just there to make everyone excited and happy and pump their fists in the air. So then we'll go to chorus 2, which is a completely different version of a chorus than verse 1. Alpha, in the second verse, talks a lot about herself and opens up. I've stumbled many times, I may get hurt, but I keep on running. Alpha is actually pretty clumsy from everything we've seen in Guilty Gear. Like, even her taunts in Strive are her playing asleep, her realizing something, or just, you know, being a good old goofball. One of her moves literally is her hurting herself. Like, she's a very clumsy girl, but she keeps on running because she's determined. Who'd walk out on the street bothered about bumps in the road? Also a really good metaphor because she's talking about, like, if I stumble and I get hurt, why should I care? It's like walking out in the street and being like, ew, there's a bump in the road. Oh man, that's annoying. Like, yeah, I guess it's annoying, but it's not something you should care about. I'm scared of the laughter, but I love to laugh myself. I hear the words I only like, so let's smile and laugh. Because of her position now as a metal singer and songwriter, she's obviously scared of being, like, clowned on. Like, ha, you make bad music, Elfelt. Go back to, like, sitting at home. But she also likes to laugh, so even if she's the one being mocked or laughed at, she'll just focus on the stuff she likes, the words she only likes, and then she'll smile and laugh with everyone that she is supported by.
I fell down a lot. I hurt a lot. I was laughed at a lot. But then I realized I just need to beat it up.
Now, when you listen to the song yourself, if you listen to the song yourself, you'll realize I cut out a verse. It's verse 3. Verse 3 is pretty much the exact same as verse 1, just with a couple minor differences, so that's why I cut it out. If you want to go listen to verse 1, you can go listen to the original song, but it doesn't really add much to the overall message of the song. Now, there's the break, the piano ballad, the Queen-esque theme, where she's like, I fell down a lot, I hurt a lot, I was upset a lot, but then I realized I just need to weed it out. So, this is just, I felt, reiterating the same thing she said in the second verse, but more elegantly, I suppose. It's very pretty, but she pretty much goes over the exact same point she went over before. I highly recommend listening to the extras on your own time, just as I recommend Let Me Carve Your Way. But we'll now move on to our last song. It's a very good song. Freesia. Any of several plants of the genus Freesia, native to southern Africa, having clusters of fragrant, variously colored flowers borne on one side of the stem. Freesia is what I think the anthem of Guilty Gear is. If you asked me what I thought the best Guilty Gear song was, not my favorite, I'd say Freesia. Freesia is not a song specific to one character, but it is widely regarded to be about two characters instead. The main character of Guilty Gear, Soul Bad Guy, and his lover, fiance, dead wife, Aria. Now, when I was talking about Elfelt Valentine before, I mentioned that the Valentine name had some importance. That is because the Valentines were actually made up of Aria's soul and stuff. It's a lot of lore, but they're connected. So that's why I wanted to explain why the Valentines were important, because Aria Hale is her name, is pretty much the entire catalyst for the Guilty Gear series. What started was pretty much because of her, sort of. Now, Guilty Gear has been going on for a while, and this song only released in Xrd Sign, which was the entry before Guilty Gear Strive, I believe. But it is one of the most meaningful songs and most powerful songs I think I've ever heard in gaming ever. So we're gonna go over this one today, and we'll end the video with this one.
This is a space base. This is a space base. Can you hear me? Air's enough. No need to worry. At least enough for two.
I know I mentioned that I think Guilty Gear's lines in some of their songs don't make any sense, especially like when I was talking about Zato's with the drive drive slash slash lines. But as wild as this is a space base seems, space base could actually mean a metaphor for something bigger. Arya is Soul's dead wife, like I said. But when he's saying, "Can you hear me?" it could be seen as him trying to reach out to her through the Valentines, which are the only really remnant left of her. When he says air is enough, no need to worry, at least enough for two, he could also be talking about air being a metaphor for Arya, because he just wants anything from her at this point. He wants just to hear her, just to see her, even if he just saw her breathing, that would be enough.
This is a space base. Information, resources, you have everything. Find what's lacking is far more difficult, except one little thing.
These next lines of the verse are actually much more understandable in terms of Guilty Gear than the last verse was. Information, resources, you have everything. That, I presume, is someone talking to Soul, telling him he has everything, because Soul saved the world many times on many different occasions in the Guilty Gear universe, and he's been hailed for it, he's been thanked, he's been given all the best titles he can have. So someone says, to find what's lacking is far more difficult, except one little thing, which I assume is Soul making a snide remark, if this was a conversation, except one little thing being Arya.
The whole world is kind to me, but sorry, wearing a fine suit, pay my credit card, but I cannot prove myself.
The chorus, for how short it is actually really full of meaning. The whole world is kind to me, it refers to Soul, talking about how the whole world is kind to him. He's saved the world on multiple occasions and everyone loves him for it. And he's sorry though, because he feels like he can't prove himself, because no matter how much he saves the world, he still cannot get the one person back that he wants to get back. Wearing a fine suit paid by a credit card is mainly to signify that he has all these nice things because he has saved the world, but he still doesn't have Arya. Money can get him whatever he wants, but he can't take back his love.
This is a space base. This is a space base. Can you hear me? The world may crumble down with just one piece missing.
Soul says, or someone says, the world may crumble down with just one piece missing. I see it personally as Soul because the piece that's missing is Arya. Yet again, he just displays his affection and loneliness without Arya. His world is crumbling down. Now, I'm going to let the song play out for a bit longer because there's an amazing piano solo going on in the background now. But that's because I want it to sound nice and cohesive when we get to the next important part, because there will be no more verses after this.
without her, I'm not here.
Soul says, "This is the center of the universe, but without her, I'm not here." He probably references Arya at this point again, well, deliberately, because without her, he feels empty and nothing. He feels like he cannot be anywhere without her. She, perhaps, is the center of his universe. He then says, "Only my shell remains here, lonely my soul left somewhere." Only his shell remains, because without Arya, he feels like, again, a shell, with no one to love or no one to love him. Lonely my soul left somewhere. His soul probably is still gone from when he was last with Arya. He feels like his soul isn't in his body, or he doesn't have any emotion because Arya is no longer here. Now, I will let you listen to the final bit of this song uninterrupted, because like Zato's, it is gorgeous. Wow, what a song. I love that song. It's amazing. So, he yells Frisia, which, as I've stated at the start of this segment, Frisia is a type of flower. So, I believe that he refers to Arya as this beautiful flower for some reason. I don't know if there's a lore reason for it, because I'm not that well educated, but I like to imagine he's talking about her as a beautiful flower. Here I am, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. He's kind of like reaching out, saying, "Here, I'm here. Please, come to me." Fly through the galaxy, handshaking everywhere, referencing mostly how he's been throughout everywhere in this world now on Earth. Handshaking top dogs all across the Guilty Gear universe. But all he really wants is her standing by him, sitting down at a home, at whatever, just being a couple, being lovely. He repeats the chorus one last time, and the song ends in a lovely piano ballad. Frisia is genuinely one of the best songs I've actually ever heard in my life. Not even just gaming related. It is a beautiful song. It's a beautiful, I want to say love song even, but it's kind of about loss. Even though it's not supposed to be about one specific person, at least I think, it's not supposed to be about one specific person or couple, the fact that it just so directly ties itself to the story of Guilty Gear and the story of Soul Bad Guy and Arya Hale is just phenomenal. I don't think any song in any other franchise could have done it that good or done it this better. But Daisuke and Naoki together composing music for Guilty Gear is just something else. It is not just game music, it is beautiful music. Hi, thanks for making it to the end of the video if you're not someone I forced to watch this. It's my first time actually taking a hand at making a script-related big video, and I'm no YouTuber by any means of the word, but this was just a topic I felt really strongly about, and plus I'm getting marks for it in school, so yes, sir. Yeah, thank you for watching. I might do other stuff in the future, even if there's no one to watch it really, but I'm glad that I made this. It's definitely one of the dearest projects I've actually made in a while, so I'm really proud of it. There's a ton of places I want to improve on. I'm sure you noticed me stuttering a ton during the video and even now. And even though I had a script, I just went off of it a lot. But other than that, thank you very much. I will see you maybe in the next video if I ever make one. Thank you.